nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all. It's your buddy Big Johnny G, the Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. It's Thursday. I like that. I like these reviews, this series. I hope you're enjoying it as well. Now, if you saw the last one, I gave a review for Crazier 8's Olympus. And as you know, I do enjoy the series, from the gameplay to the art. But not only did Olympus make it on Kickstarter, it made it well enough to have a mini standalone expansion game that you can play 2 to 3 players, or you can add it to the core game. It blends perfectly. And now I want to tell you my thoughts on Crazier 8's Pantheon. I'll see you down the table. Crazier 8's Pantheon. Alright, so we did go over Crazier 8's Olympus, but I wanted to go over this too because it is technically a separate tuck box. You can play this on its own. You don't necessarily need Olympus to play Pantheon, although if you do have the two of them together, then you could have up to about 6 players instead of the 4 maximum for this game. So we're going to take a look and see what I think about this. And everything that this company has done as far as their what we could call their core Crazier 8's games has all followed suit. So they've had a large tuck box, a main, a core, and then they've had a standalone mini that comes out with it. So I've been enjoying the fact that they've been doing that. I like the fact that you can get either or both, and it's going to be a great experience. So starting with this, as I do with all of them, because the first thing that you notice for any game is the packaging, the box. So there's nothing really to talk about this. I mean, I can't remember exactly what I said for Olympus, but I'm sure it's going to be pretty much the same. This is a tuck box. There's nothing special about it. You can see mine is already showing wear and tear. I always have a little trouble with tuck boxes, actually, myself. But what else? What are they going to pack it in? It's a deck of cards. So it works out. It's perfect. It's good. It does the job it's supposed to do. But there's nothing special about this tuck box. Now, the way they package it, the art is a little bit dark. And it's a little bit darker in first person view than it is on camera, but each of them have their own color scheme, so I see where they're going with this. And on the back it has a decent description of the game and what to expect from it, and it shows off a couple of the amazing art, a couple of cards with the amazing art on it. So it is what it is. I wouldn't give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down. This just is. Okay, now moving on into the core game itself. Into the box itself. See, that's all we got. And they don't give you the full rules with this. They give you the card, which really is more than enough. Because, as I say about these games, because it's so true, if you have a basic understanding of Crazy 8s or Uno, you're going to have a basic understanding of this. But this is always handy. I love the fact that companies do these little reminder cards or cheat cards. It's great. It's great. Okay, but now let's move on, because all the components are, after this, is all just the gaming cards. So the quality of the cards is great. Well, it's good plus. Maybe great's a little strong, but they're durable enough. I've had no problem with them. If you end up falling in love with this game and playing it often, I would suggest sleeving them though, just to be safe. Just to be safe. Now there are differences because this, unlike the core of Olympus, Pantheon doesn't have the standard suits. A lot of the cards are going to be these multi-purpose cards, these wild cards, good for any suit. Good for any suit. So we're going to have a bunch of these. As you can see, they're all falling out. Okay. And then we have some dual cards, some double cards, like the Athena card. We'll cover for either of these two, the purple or the blue. The blue or the green with Poseidon. Now, although these aren't aces like you find the four in here, these are assets. They are gods of Olympus. And so, like the other ace cards in the core game, they can't be destroyed. So if you're familiar with the other titles, but Olympus and Pantheon are new to you, this is a difference in the game. That aces and these dual cards from Pantheon are all deities and cannot be destroyed. Okay, so now another thing you may have noticed, and if you've seen my videos on these titles before, you're wondering why I haven't said it yet. Well, let me just say that component-wise, these cards are probably, at least arguably, the most beautiful, artistically speaking, cards I've seen in a game. And I just absolutely, positively love looking at this game when it's on the table. So that's the box. Those are the components. Now let's talk about the game rules and how everything works. So we're looking at simple enough win conditions. As I mentioned earlier, if you're familiar with Crazy 8's style games, then you understand that the first player that has absolutely no cards left in their hands is the winner of the game. So now, setting this up, super easy. All you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking the cards from your deck, or decks if you're using Olympus as well with it. And you're going to give them a shuffle, however it is you shuffle, whether you're a good shuffler or a bad shuffler, whether you hand it off to someone else to do, or whether you muddle through it yourself. You're going to give the cards a shuffle, and then the top card is going to be placed out like so in order to start. Randomly determine who's going to be the first player. There's no way to say in the game, so just figure out yourself. Flip a coin, roll a die. Who's ever read a Greek tale most recently, however it is you decide who the first player is, do so. And then each player is going to be dealt 7 cards. And after each player has 7 cards, you're going to keep your cards a secret. And you're not going to let anyone else see them. And then, the rounds are ready to start. The first thing you must do is you're going to have to draw a card into your hand. And then you get to play a card from your hand, and you also get to discard a card from your hand. And you can do it in either way, either order. Let me show you what the difference is. Now, each of the cards in the deck are either an asset or an event. Now, if you decide that you are going to play a card, events get played, you follow the instructions, and then they're going to get discarded to the bottom of the deck. Now, on the other hand, if you play an asset, this is going to be kept, and you're going to put it in your playing area in front of you. And most of their effects take place either at the beginning or the end of your turn, such as the Priests of Apollo. At the beginning of your turn, draw a card. Then you may discard 2 additional cards this turn. So that's 3. Talk about a quick way to get to 0. But the other players are going to be playing cards that will affect your assets. Now, regardless of whether you played an asset or an event, you can only play 1 on your turn. You also get to discard a card from your hand, and that's going to be done as per the traditional way. We see a 15 sun, so you would need a sun card, such as the Priest of Apollo or Hera, or you would have to look to see that if you had a 15 in your hand, which this particular hand does not. So that would leave only 2 options, and if I wanted to use this as an asset, that would leave only this to then place on the top, which means that the next player in line only has to match one of these 2 suits or colors, and whatever number they put down is not determined by that, because this is only by suit. Then it is the end of the turn event, so if you have any assets or cards that say that they take effect at the end of your turn, that is when they do so. And that will bring you back forward around to the beginning of the round. And at the beginning, you check cards and make sure, such as this one, that you do their beginning of turn effects. And this continues until one player discards their very last card and have nothing left in their hand, and they become the winner! Packaging, components, rules. You know, I think it does all come together very well. I think this game does a great job at inspiring the theme that it is going for. Each of their games has, whether it has been 1001 Arabian Nights, or whether it has been King Arthur, or the Greek gods, it does a great job of pulling you into that realm. Artistically, it's beautiful to look at, and mechanically, it plays smoothly. There's absolutely no reason not to love this game, and I absolutely do, that's for sure. So whether Pantheon as a standalone for 2 players, or whether combined with the core game of Olympus to make this 4-player game up to a good 6, you got to win. You got to win right here. This game fulfills everything that it goes out to do. You have a fun time. It's easy to play, fast to play. Things are familiar, the rules, the setting. This is it. If you're looking for a great family game, if you're looking for a great filler game, then this is obviously it. So please, buy Recoculous Games. Go check out the Crazier 8 series, and specifically, please go check out Pantheon and Olympus. I'm your buddy Big Giant G for Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming, and my friend, I am out of here.